Yeah, what's good, everybody? King Feds here. I'm here today to talk about the Dragon Ball Sparking Zero game that we've all been enjoying and loving recently. And guess I can say that we've all been loving it really hard because it's brought back nostalgia and our childhoods, and it's a great game great game overall. Um, so my discussion today is talking about the possibility and possible future of where the game is going. Now, a little bit about myself. I know this is probably my first video ever that's gonna be on YouTube, talking about anime fighting game. But I live in Australia. I was born and raised in South Africa. Moved to Australia at a young age. But in the sense of my gaming background, I've always really enjoyed fighting games since the days of the old PlayStation. My old man, being a poor guy he was back in South Africa, bought me my first PlayStation, and we always played Tekken. So I've loved fighting games since I was a kid. Never always been good at them. Then probably not good at them now. But in the sense of being an expert, I'm not gonna say I'm an expert, but my extensial, not extensial knowledge that I have for fighting games in general, I feel like this is a worthy discussion to bring up. Now, in regards to what we're going to be talking about, is mainly Sparking Zero, and the gameplay you're seeing in the back here is from a lobby that myself and my friends were in, and we found a Z rank. But the gameplay is good. My homie's really good at the game, so show him some love. But mainly today's topic is going to be about Sparking Zero and a bit of a correlation to One Piece Burning Blood. Now, if you're an OG of Bandai games, Bandai fighting games, you obviously played Naruto, Ultimate Ninja Storm, but a lot of people I feel like never knew really about One Piece Burning Blood, and it's very similar comparisons to Sparking Zero and what Sparking Zero has got going on now. Um, Now, if you know about One Piece Burning Blood, you're a G, and you got some huge energy. If you don't know about One Piece Burning Blood, you missed out on such a great era. And I feel like that's just due to the fact that One Piece wasn't as known well enough as it is now. So a lot of people wouldn't have seen this game as a prospect to play. Anyways, I digress. Now, I know the major talks at the moment for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is the possible nerfs of obvious characters like Yajirobe. Now, with with Bandai or with the community sort of looking at these possibilities, I'm gonna have to bring up the discussion where I'm gonna play devil's advocate here and say I disagree with nerfing. Balancing, I'm perfectly fine with. Balancing characters to get them up to speed with the roster is perfectly fine and it's great. But in the sense of nerfing characters, especially in a low accurate game, I don't feel like it's necessary. Especially when your main, especially when your main thing about your game, like one of your few main points, is being low accurate to the anime. Is the game should stay true to itself. And I feel like Bandai, in the sense, is stuck between a rock and a hard place due to the fact that they don't intend these games to be super competitive at all. It's more of a party game. But due to the plethora of players and the community that we have, the game becomes fairly competitive, which is great. Everyone loves a bit of competition, and I think it's good to have in any games. It's the only way that people get better at gaming at certain games and get better overall. Competition is great, but at the end of it, this game is still a party game, and I feel like nerfing characters for the sake of trying to be competitive is taking it a little bit too far. This game is not going to be a Mortal Kombat or a Tekken. It's supposed to be for when you're at your friend's house and you want to play a split screen game of your favorite anime and you play it. That's what it's supposed to be in its true essence. And I feel that if they took the route of making this game too competitive, then they run into the problem of once one nerf happens, people are going to want more nerfs for other characters. What's to say that Yajirobe isn't the first step to a nerf to try and make him easier for players who can't defeat him, or make him easier in the sense of players, new players that come to the game can actually have a better time, which is a bit tough, right? Due to the fact of I'm a firm believer of in a fighting game, if you're getting beat and you're not learning to get better, then you just you're not helping yourself at all. Like every fight, you should be fighting or losing or winning. You should take something back from it and learn from it to make you a better player overall. Now, in the sense of nerfs, if they nerf Yajirobe first, they're gonna want to. The community is eventually gonna want to nerf MUI Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and so far and so forth. And then you end up in this whole domino effect of where people just complaining to get shit nerfed, trying to make the game more balanced, competitive, which it shouldn't be going towards. I think the game as it stands is kind of fun. I think it's a great game, and it's got a smashing resemblance to One Piece Burning Blood in the sense of how it plays. Now, I'm doing this all off the top of my head. I didn't write any notes down because, you know, it's my first ever video talking about this shit. But we're just gonna bull. We ball. Now, the reason I bring up One Piece Burning Blood is One Piece Burning Blood, for its time that it came out, which was just after, I think, from memory, just after Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. Now, I played the shit out of Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 3 with my friends. We used to get on the drinks and play it quite a lot, split screen. 4 I felt like was just a clear copy and paste, and it was still good, but I just didn't really get into it. When my homies showed me this game, which give me a sec, it should cut to it.
One Piece Burning Blood.
Here, this game here, it came out in 2016, was so ahead of its time. It is actually insane. Well, after Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 4, when I heard about this game, I completely dropped everything and jumped in this game. I played this game so heartily for a long time on Xbox. In the sense of DBF doing that. Good, better record. In the sense of this game, I played quite a bit of it. I took this game very seriously. I absolutely loved it. The lore, it has so many similarities to DBZ Spark and Zero. It's lore accurate. It had super counters, but in this game it was called flash counters. It also had DP. This game was a lot less fast paced than DBZ is, and it had a lot less counters to a lot of things, but it made up for it in the sense of being a lore accurate game. As you can see, I made it to S2. That was the highest rank I ever made it to. Problem with trying to go to S1 in this game was because I live in Australia, it's very hard to get games that are going to be at good connection. And due to the fact that Bandai and a lot of games don't really think or count Australia as a continent or a place where people live, OCE tends to get very, very dicked and shafted when it comes to having their own servers. So majority of the time you're just going to be playing people at like red ping or orange ping, and in a fighting game, as we all know, that's just not fun. So I think I got really close to S1, and after that I just cut it out just due to the fact that it was just too much of a problem. Now, what I want to bring up in the sense of lore accurateness is this game has very low accurate. It's very low accurate to the anime. Pardon me. Same in the sense of DBZ Sparking Zero. Now, obviously, you got your big hitters like Whitebeard. Anyone with Conqueror's Haki, right? Whitebeard, Hancock, Shanks, Luffy, for instance, Goofy. Like you definitely got some big hard hitters in the sense of Conqueror's Haki, but you've also got some really good characters who don't have Conqueror's Haki, who don't have a Devil Fruit, and because the game's so lore accurate, it really showed it to me that you don't need to have the best characters to do really well in a fighting game like this. For instance, as you can see, my top characters, I don't even think it will show you up overall, but it's Luffy 2 years ago without Conqueror's Haki. I'm pretty sure his best move is Gear 2. And Ace without Conqueror's Haki. And Crocodile. So I never used anyone with Conqueror's Haki, or Haki for that matter. But they were my ample team that I'd use in rank. This game was a bit different, right? In the sense of it actually had. Oh, I think I can show you right through here. Yeah, this game was a bit different. It still had DP, so your big characters would cost 3,000. So it would cost 2,500. Put in perspective, this was usually my team I'd run. Where are you, Ace? Up here. This was usually the team I would run. The admirals were great too. You could run 3 admirals, which was fun. As you can see, it's got Devil Fruit or Haki down bottom left. And as you can see, Luffy's 2 years ago doesn't have Haki at all. Now, what this game did really well, in the sense of DP and being lore accurate, was it also had supports. So I'm not maxed out on DP essentially in my battle points. I could introduce a support, and supports for a wide range of things, right? Start the battle with maximum banding gauge, which makes you go straight into your super. You could also give characters Haki that don't have Haki, or if you ran out of your Haki bar, you could give characters Haki bar. You could make it harder to flash guard for enemies, drain their burning gauge. It had a plethora of stuff. All of these cost from 1,000 to 500, from 500 to 1,000. But you had different builds for teams, and a lot of the time, people wouldn't necessarily use supports. They would just run crazy characters, i.e. Whitebeard, etc. Now, with this game too, in comparison, besides being low accurate, the DP, and similar game mechanics, this game here stayed true so much to the lore accuracy that Conqueror's Haki was the only thing that allowed you to juggle in this game. You could do other combos with other characters, but Conqueror's Haki was the only thing that allowed you to juggle in this game. I'm gonna try and attempt to show you here. We'll just use these two. This game was so good. I cannot stress this enough. If Bandai ever sees this, which they probably won't, because I'm a fucking nobody. But this game really was ahead of its time when it came out, and I stand by it. It's partly the reason why I really enjoy Sparking Zero as I do now. is the fact of how many similarities are close to this game. Yeah, in this game, you could juggle with Conqueror's Haki. As you can see. So, Conqueror's really changed the game in perspective where you could do a lot more, and it was really good, just due to the fact that obviously Conqueror's Haki is insane in the anime. It could do a plethora of things. It could dismantle low gear types. It could stop projectiles of devil fruits. It could do absolutely everything. But the throw was you'd be spending a lot for a character. So if you didn't do much with the character, then you'd be sort of fucked up, right? Which is what you have in DBZ Sparking Zero. And I've already shown you that it was very low accurate, this game, and to the point where I could tell you certain characters, no matter how low accurate the game may seem, were still really good. For instance, Sanji, if you had Sanji in your team and the enemy team had girls on their team, you wouldn't be able to attack any of them. If you had literally any woman on the team, Sanji would literally not be allowed to attack him. He would do no damage. The Sanji, as much as he was a good pick, if the enemy team had a woman and they swapped out for him, you were at a huge disadvantage to the point where you'd have to swap out your Sanji. But if he was the last alive, you'd be completely screwed. Now back to what I was originally trying to say is, even though the characters are low accurate and some have got more utility than others, ask anybody that knows me that's played this game and has versed me, if I chose Nami-Chuan with no Devil Fruit and Haki, if I chose Nami-Chuan, I was healing you, absolutely destroying you. No contest. No matter if you had Devil Fruit Logia, make my attacks go through with your Logia, you were getting cooked, my boy. Without regard. Because this game really had it all. Really had it all. It was a great game. I just wish they made a new one of this at the same time. But anyway, the video is about Sparking Zero. Now, what I'm trying to bring up as a discussion is the fact of nerfing is probably the wrong way to go about balancing Sparking Zero. This Burning Blood never really had nerfs from what I could recall. If anyone else played Burning Blood and had anything to do with Burning Blood when it came out, highlight me in the comments, but let me know if you ever saw a nerf. Because I don't think there was ever a nerf. 2 characters. There was broken characters for sure. Like some characters like Ace with a different costume on were insane. Absolutely insane. Just due to the movies, because they added a lot of characters from the movies, etc. Now, what I'm trying to bring up is the fact that I don't think they should go down the path of nerfing characters. I think they should keep the characters fairly the same, but balance characters by buffing them to make them up to speed. In the sense of Beerus and Whis being pretty underwhelming for the fact of being a 10 cost. I think a lot of myself and my friend group agree in that sense. So my idea, like you would probably say to them feds, what would you suggest? What would be the way that Bandai should go about possibly making changes to characters or nerfing, or a better idea in general? I think Bandai should look at bringing bans into ranked as a whole, or competitive tournaments as a whole. Just like how, like, say, let's say Rainbow Six Siege or games like that ban maps. I feel like they should bring bans into Sparking Zero. Bans would work way better in the sense of keeping everyone how they are, keeping the game lore accurate, keeping it true to what it's supposed to be. But for a competitive scene, if you don't want to verse a Yajirobe, ban the Yajirobe. If you don't want to verse a Shiatsu, ban the Shiatsu. If you don't want to verse, say, a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, ban the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. At this point in the game, I don't think don't get me wrong, Yajirobe is really fucking annoying to verse. And when I see him in a team, I'm like, especially when it was the stack team with like a Gogeta, you can do the math, you can realize, they probably got a Yajirobe. I understand that point of view. And it's a good game plan. The game plan is good. Like, it's a solid. Alright, it's back. Jesus. Sorry, my bad. Technical differences. Anyway, what was I saying? I feel like bans should be a good way to go, just due to the fact of being banning those characters that you know are possibly going to be in a stack team. It'd be a better way than trying to make the game less lore accurate by nerfing certain characters. Because I take this from a point of view, right? I'm also a veteran For Honor player. I've been playing that since beta. For Honor now is probably in a better state than it ever was. The game was super unbalanced back in the day, but they tried really hard to make For Honor a very, very competitive game. And I'm not disregarding. I still reckon it's probably one of the best 3D fighter games and the most unique fighting game ever to exist. And it will always hold a huge part in my heart. But it runs into the problem where everything now, because of balancing and nerfing, every character now generally feels like a character you probably played before. And there's no originality, there's no uniqueness, and that's sort of what made the game less fun and enjoyable for myself and other veterans to play. Due to the fact that you generally, like, you'll hear it a lot where it's just, this is the same shit. Same with the new characters they decide to bring. They also feel like the same shit. So I feel in general that bans should be the way to go for DBZ Sparking Zero. Mainly in ranked. It'll end the discussion of possibly nerfing Yajirobe. It'll end the discussion of end the possibility of it going to the point of, once nerfing Yajirobe, nerfing other characters. It'll keep everything lore accurate. It'll keep the game still to the true essence of being a lore accurate party game. I feel like that would be probably the way to go. As for how many bans, I'm not too sure. I feel like one is good, but then it might not be enough in the sense of a 200 character roster. So 2 may be the way to go. I'll leave that up to you guys to discuss, and possibly in the comments or whatever you reckon. I know this was just a little bit of a throw around video, pretty all over the place. Maybe next time we'll do some points and shit. But I really wanted to get this out there before anything happens to Sparking Zero in the sense of an update. As of this point, I haven't seen an update personally. I've only seen the talks about Yajirobe nerf, etc., etc. I've talked about it at work with people, and so far and so forth. And I really don't want to see a game like this which is actually really, really good. And it holds a lot of comparisons to One Piece Burning Blood. And One Piece Burning Blood I felt like it was just really slept on, but which is this game is not, because of such a high population in the community, and how well this game has touched the souls and hearts of once were kids back in the day to now having a true great successor. So I really want the best for this game, and I feel like nerfing's probably not the way to go. We need to come together as a community, push all the bullshit aside, and look at the game for what it is, and try and work around what it is instead of trying to change the game for a possible better future. Thank you all for tuning in. If you did tune in, absolute G. If you're an OG One Piece fan, W. If you're an OG DBZ fan, W. I'll try and make some more content on this game. Probably will see some more content on this game. If you want any other type of content, let me know. I do stream on Twitch quite a bit. Same name, King Ferds. And thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate it a lot. And as this gameplay too was my homie who's C1 rank in DP, taking on a Z rank in DP, and absolutely destroying him with one character, which is the Android 19 for all his characters. Another iteration of rank means fucking nothing.